Oh man, did I really have to do this one? Did I really have to do this one? Oh god, I guess I have to talk about this disgusting slime of a Pokemon. Yep, I do. Welcome to Why Shit Got Banned. Greninja from XYOU. There's really just not a lot to say about Greninja. It's very cut and dry, straightforward. It just kills everything. It outspeeds and kills everything with Protean Life Orb boosted attacks. That's all it comes down to. The special attack is deceiving, 103, but when you get stabbed on everything, that's like a choice banded boost. Well, choice specs boost on everything. That's pretty ridiculous. Stab 1.5 times boost for anybody who already didn't know, which is none of you if you're watching this video. But he doesn't even need to invest in his attack all that much to get super powerful physical attacks off like low kick and gun shot, which is really what broke it in ORAS, was that it got access to those moves to, well, pretty much invalidate previous counters it had that, well, semi-counters. Like, the thing that was really popular back then was the Aviazumarill and the Clefable, especially defensive Clefable, to stop Greninja. That's actually how Calm Clefable became a thing in order to stop Thundurus and Greninja from 2-hit KOing it with Life Orb Thunderbolt and Life Orb Hydro Pump respectively. But now that Greninja got Gunk Shot, he could just... You don't even have to predict because Gunk Shot does so much.
Okay, so first I have to guess that my opponent is going into a fairy typing, and then I have to land the 80% accuracy move. Okay, so first I have to guess that my opponent is going into a fairy typing, and then I have to land the 80% accuracy move.
So, despite whatever Velisify may tell you, you don't have to predict the switch when you switch into fairy type. You can hit it with Ice Beam, HP Grass, whatever. Well, maybe not HP Grass, I'd have to calc that, but Ice Beam, which is what the most common thing it's spammed, Hydro Pump, and then you just go for Gunk Shot afterwards, and it's about as likely as hitting another Hydro Pump, so there's that. Low Kick wasn't really as predominant an option, but it could hit stuff like, I guess, Chansey was the main thing that it hit, but you did actually have to predict the Chansey switch in because otherwise it was not a 2-hit KO combined with any of Greninja's other moves. But in general, you're not really trying to use Greninja to break down stall, even though for an offensive mon of its archetype, I would say it does more to stall than it probably should. It's mostly used to just beat down on balance, beat down on hyper offense. We covered in the previous Why Shit Got Banned video that the existence of Deoxys D and Deoxys S already skewed the meta in a very polarizing direction, where you either run super hyper offense or you run really fat, what's the word I'm trying to get out? Passive stall. And there was hardly anything in between because balance just got bodied by both. Greninja didn't help this because, in case you didn't know, balance gets absolutely destroyed by Greninja thanks to its amazing move pool along with its combination of stats and its stupid fucking ability, Protean, which gives it a choice specs boost on everything. So, depending on what your team could cover, Greninja was just like a one-time, a check-all to the typical balance builds of that day of XYOU. So this is actually kind of hilarious what I scrolled down to here. So this is the analysis for Battle Spot singles in for Greninja. So let's look at some of the counters. This is pretty funny. Checks and counters. Porygon 2. Greninja has no hope of breaking it. That's pretty obvious already. I doubt Low Kick does anything. I mean, Porygon 2 is not known to be particularly heavy, so Low Kick probably does nothing to it. And but then again, though, who uses Porygon 2 in OU? I'm not saying it can't work, because it was used on balance to keep people from getting 6-0'd by Greninja. That's how stupid it was. But nowadays, especially in ORAS, Porygon 2 just kind of doesn't have a place. So, a pretty irrelevant counter that just doesn't get used in OU. Chansey does get used, but I mean, Chansey is meant to be your blanket check to things that usually have no switch-ins, like a good example is like Mega Charizard Y. So why isn't Mega Charizard Y banned? Because it doesn't have fucking 122 speed, and it actually has good counters like well, Heatran's not really a counter, but it's more of a check. It has more viable checks because it's not so damn fast, and it doesn't have so much damn coverage and reliability. That's the thing with Greninja, like, that you have to understand. It's not just about power, it's also about reliability and how reliable it is in its job, just like Deoxys D and Deoxys S. Well, I can't fucking talk today because I've been recording so many videos, but that's a huge point I want to get across to people when they argue against bans because some Pokemon seem similar to other Pokemon. Like, it's not always that simple because, again, stuff like Zard Y and Kyurem Black hardly have any switch-ins. What the fuck switches into Mega Medicham? And I know some people want to ban that thing. I really don't agree for a variety of reasons, but it also has to do with the reliability. This is a huge part of it. That nice 122 convenient-ass speed stat, the Protean, and the accuracy of its moves. You don't have to go for high jump kick. You don't have to go for fucking Fire Blast. You have Ice Beam, Dark Pulse. A lot of people run like extra sensory for Mega Venusaur. The only real risk you would take is Hydro Pump and I guess Gunk Shot. And I haven't even gotten into that it can actually set up spikes. Kind of like Deoxys S, you can force the switch out and lay up the surprise spikes, although especially towards the time where it was finally banned, that wasn't quite as common. Okay, I didn't even finish what I was going to say when I was down here. So Porygon 2 and Chansey are the counters, and then faster This is so great. So it's just Porygon 2, Chansey, and then faster Pokemon. That's your check. That's your counter. So, I mean, that's the main reason why Balance just got completely invalidated by Greninja. And I'm not saying that's the only reason Greninja was banned. It was also a bitch to offense. I mean, the only things that were faster, like Mega Gengar's obviously banned in OU, Mega Manectric, and Mega Lopunny. So, I don't know how we're going to get a Pokemon in Sun and Moon that, unless it's specifically built to deal with Greninja, and that's actually good in its own right, there's no hope. Like, Greninja isn't Ubers to stay, probably. Yes, it will come back down for Sun and Moon because it was banned in a suspect test, but I suspect I might even put some money on the idea that Greninja will just be quick banned in Sun and Moon because Smogon, because the OU Council will just be tired of dealing with it, and just the nature of how the Pokemon functions mechanically. I don't really, it's not really something I would bet on for there to be a Pokemon that exists that by itself would bring Greninja down to OU. It would have to be something where Game Freak changed how Protean works. For example, if they nerfed Protean, that would be a game changer. But if they don't change anything about Greninja itself, it's not coming down anytime soon. It's going to be immediately banned or suspected at the advent of, damn it, I can't talk. Once Sun and Moon comes out, Greninja's gone. I can almost guarantee it to you. So if you enjoyed this video or thought it was informative, this wasn't really as in-depth just because there's not too much to talk about. It's pretty cut and dry. Greninja's too strong, it's too fast, it's too reliable, and it does too many things for a Pokemon that only takes up one slot. Not that there are any Pokemon that take up more than one, but you know what I'm saying. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm done talking about this disgusting ass Pokemon.